Okay, let's get it started. Thank you all for joining today, and thank you especially for Dana for joining us. You're the representative of FH Kärnten, University of Applied Sciences, and you will lead us today through the study programs in Bachelor and Masters at your university. And yeah, I will leave you for the virtual stage, and then we will address all the questions that people have. So please, everybody use the chat, say hello, say as well from where you're logging in, so we are just sure that you're also interactive, that you are here, that we know that everything is working. And if you have any questions, yeah, just drop the questions. I see already somebody's raising a hand, so also we can ask those, address questions. But first, let's listen to Dana, and then we take over all those questions. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, thank you very much for the intro, Georg. Thank you for the organization of today's webinar. So my name is Dana, and I'm from Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, and I will be presenting the university to you a little bit what we offer, especially our English offers, and some things that might be interesting for international students. I'm not sure. I think you can already see my presentation. Because right now
we can.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So let's just start. Okay, this is me again. So my position, so I work in international student recruitment, but I'm a study consultant. So I help students find their right program, or especially I'm responsible for international students. That's why I'm here today. And in case you've got any questions, you can also always contact me. You find my email address on this slide. So I'm personally not able to give all the details about like the application and especially about the requirements, but I will try to give you like the general requirements. And then of course I will give you some info where you can turn to if you want detailed information. But for now, let's focus a little bit about the university and our offers. So at first, I want to show you where the university is located. So as you can see here in the middle of the picture, you see Austria. And where this little location mark is, this is Carinthia. So it's a whole region in the south of Austria, very near to the border with Italy and Slovenia. And Vienna, the capital, is about 3.5 hours away by train. And you might have heard of Venice, which is a very famous city in Italy. And this is only 2.5 hours away. So Venice is actually nearer than our capital, Vienna. But in general, everything is very, I would say, compact here. So it's a region where you can be in very different countries, meet different cultures in a very short time. So it's what we call in the heart of Europe, of course. A little bit more about Austria. So it's, I would say a small country in Central Europe with 9 million inhabitants. The capital again is Vienna, where most of the population live. And our official language is German. And German is also like the working language of most companies. It still is. There are some international companies that use English also as a as a company language, and also at universities. English is very common, so you can study purely in English without knowing any German. But as soon as you come to the job market, German skills are still a very big plus. So there are positions where English is definitely enough, especially in the engineering sector. But in general, if you have some German skills, that's perfect. And if you're looking to work somewhere or live somewhere in the German-speaking world, then learning the language or knowing a little bit of the language is definitely a must. But in general, just to give you like an outlook, what graduates or university graduates earn in Austria. So I used the data that was provided by Statistik Austria, which is like the governmental statistical service. And if you do a bachelor's degree, afterwards you earn approximately 35,000 euros per year. And after a master's degree, you will earn a little bit less than double of it. So around 59,000 euros per year. And that is 36 months or 3 years after the graduation. And so from my own experience, I can say that these are like, I think, very, realistic numbers. And I'm working now in the higher education sector and not in an engineering job, but for engineers, like the outlooks for the salaries are definitely a little bit higher than that. Yeah, now to Carinthia, so the region where we are. So as you can see, the red dots here, these mark the region of Carinthia. And it's the southernmost province of Austria, and the population is about a little bit less than 600,000. So as you can see, it's not that highly or densely populated. So the biggest city is Klagenfurt, where we also have a campus. It has around 100,000 inhabitants, so a small but very charming city. And then our main and international campus is located in Villach with approximately 70,000 inhabitants. Yes, and Carinthia itself is known for its nature. We have a lot of mountains that we in winter use for skiing or all sorts of mountain sports. Also in summer, we do a lot of hiking. And then, of course, we have these beautiful lakes that you can see here on the bottom left. There is only one of, I think, 1,000 of them. And yeah, our students are generally like people living here when they go to work or to the university in the morning, and then in the late afternoon or towards the evening, they go to the beach. So it is generally a very high, study work-life balance here in Carinthia. And of course, also in the cities, so they are not that big, but there is still something going on. So especially during the summer months and the spring months now, we have a lot of little festivals or program in the city centers, and a lot of people are in there. And we also have many expats and international students, but it's also international workers or expats who chose Carinthia for their career. So there is also a very nice international community. Yeah, why should you consider Carinthia for studying and, well, eventually also for working and living? So I've already mentioned the very high quality of life, and it's a very safe place to live. When you go through the streets, or also when you just drive along the roads, you will see everything is very clean as well. And I've already mentioned the intersection of different cultures. So that's why also, like, when you live here or come here, it feels very international, because in 30 minutes you can be in Italy and speak another or hear another language, or you can be in Slovenia. And also here in the region, especially around Villach, we have quite a lot of international companies, especially in the semiconductor or microchips industry. And of course, they attract a lot of international talents. That's why the atmosphere here is also very international. And as you can see from the picture, the nature and the landscape really is fantastic. You can use this landscape or the nature for all kinds of outdoor sports, and it's a very good balance to your working or studying life. And as for the education, because I'm here today to promote our education, it is really, so we are a public university. It's not private, but in Austria, public education is, I would say, very highly renowned. It's known to be of high quality also compared to other countries, and it's very practice orientated. So especially this kind of university that I represent today, University of Applied Sciences, is very practice orientated. So during the studies, you already have connections to companies, to the job market. You have lecturers that come from businesses. So it's really not just learning theory from the books, but it's really like applying the knowledge from the first day on. And that's why also after graduating, you have a very good chance of being employed by one of the companies we work with, or also by other companies. Also, education here in Austria, when you choose public education, it is super affordable. So we have a very low tuition fee. We do have a small one, but it's still very affordable, and I will show you the fees afterwards. And yeah, due to the practice orientation, but also due to like the topics that our programs are about, because these are all relevant and industry-related topics, you have excellent career prospects during and also after graduating. Yeah, so now just a few numbers. So we're not a big university. We have got 3,700 students, but they come from 70 different nations, so from all over the world. So when you choose us for studying, you can be sure that you will not be just the only international student among all Austrian students. This is definitely not the case. So you will find a very nice, small but very nice and well-connected community of international students. We also have partner universities worldwide, which offer semesters abroad or projects abroad. And yeah, I've already mentioned half of our teaching staff is actually like part-time teaching staff. So they come from the industry or from organizations, and they come to the university to really teach off their everyday experience. So what they experience in their job and what is required is what they teach here. So it's not just theory they're talking about, but it's really what they experience every day. And of course, we have very modern facilities. But now to the interesting parts, it's the programs that we offer. Something else again. I will come to the programs shortly, but now to our campuses. So we have 5 different campuses spread over all of Carinthia, and it depends what you study, also determines where you study. So I mentioned Villach already, which is our biggest and most international campus. So if you study something in English, you will most probably end up here in Villach, which is also our main campus. And then we've got several more, which are slightly smaller and sometimes also specialized on a specific subject. Like, for example, in Spital, you can study civil engineering and architecture, and health studies and social studies are mainly taught here in Klagenfurt or in a smaller campus in Feldkirchen. And here are some pictures of the campuses and the cities where they're located in. So this is the main campus here in Villach, and most international one. And on the right-hand side, you see the city center during one of our biggest summer festivals. It's something like Oktoberfest that you might have heard of from Germany. It's very similar, but done in Austria. And yeah, and on the bottom right, you see like I wouldn't say skyline because we do have a skyline, but it's formed out of mountains and not of skyscrapers. But you see these industry site here, or in the front of the picture, and this is one of the biggest semiconductor producers that is based here. And also there we have very good connections to this company and also to their suppliers, and they offer quite a lot of jobs for internationals, especially in the engineering sector. Then this is Klagenfurt, where we have 2 campuses. Again, the city center is charming and nice. It has a Renaissance city center. And you cannot mention Klagenfurt without this lake here on the bottom left. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations actually in Austria. And yeah, it's a fabulous lake with drinking water quality. So you could actually also drink the water. And yeah, so as you can see, the nature is splendid. And these are the other campuses, the smaller ones, where mainly German subjects are taught. So we focus on 4 different fields of competence. The first one is technology. Then we offer programs in management, health sciences, and social studies. I will today focus more on the English talk programs. For those, you do not need to show us any German skills, but only English skills at the level of B2. So in technology we have a lot of bachelor's programs that are taught in English. And they last for 3 years, and the masters then for 2 years. They're more specialized. At the bachelor's, we have green transition engineering, which is a nice combination of natural sciences and engineering, especially software engineering and data science. Then we have IT, information technologies, which is telecommunications, computer science, informatics, but it's always focused on one of these 3 specializations. So one is medical engineering. It's when you apply your IT knowledge on the medical sector. So for example, when you work with medical software or medical devices, or maybe you have heard of these medical picture processing like CT scans or ultrasounds. So we try to understand how these devices work and also how to further develop these technologies in the future using AI, of course. Multimedia technology will be only offered from next year on, so it's a new program offered in English, and this focuses more on the creative industry or creative technologies. So you will learn about video editing, game design, game engineering, but also graphic design plays a big role in it. And network engineering is, I would say, the classical track that you can follow. So there is also a lot of cybersecurity in it, and telecommunications and cloud computing. You develop web applications. So I would say this is the classical track of IT. And then we offer systems engineering. You can also choose between 2 specializations, green electronics or mechatronics. The green in it means we focus a lot on sustainable technologies. And just to give you some keywords, what our students here work with, it's robotics, automatization, electrical engineering, and putting, like in mechatronics, you also put the motion into the electrical devices. And so that's mainly what the bachelors are about. In the master sector, we offer even more. So we have applied data science. We also have civil engineering in English. Unfortunately, not as a bachelor, but only as a master in English. We have communication engineering, which would be the consecutive master to network engineering. And then we've got 3 very specialized masters that are very much targeted on the local industries. So electrical energy and mobility systems is focused like on the sustainable energy sector. Industrial power electronics, integrated systems design, and systems and circuits design, as well as systems design, is targeted on the semiconductor industry. So microchips, for example. And then we also have medical engineering and analytics, which would be the consecutive to our bachelor as well. If you say, okay, I want to study, I want to do a master's degree in the technical field, so all of those masters that I just mentioned, then we have a scholarship that we would like to invite you to apply for. And this scholarship is only available for students from European countries, as well as from South America and Mexico. And the scholarship includes monthly scholarship, so you actually earn something in the first year, which is 700 euros per month. And in the 3rd and 4th semester, you will actually have a guarantee to work either with one of our partner companies or to be employed at one of our research projects that we do at the university. So it's already, of course, you will also get money for that, but you already get the first step into the local job market. And I think that's the greatest advantage you can have. And you can also do a language course for free. And this scholarship is only available for the technical masters and only for people with a certain citizenship. Here is again the criteria, but I won't focus on it too much, just to show you or to highlight, it's a performance-based scholarship. That means you need to apply and you need to have quite good performance in your bachelor's degree. Okay, now to the management programs. So we have two bachelors here, which is digital marketing and sales and intercultural management. Yeah, they both share the same basis, which is actually the fundamentals of business administration. So the contents cover like the main business subjects like marketing, logistics, accounting, finance, business law. And then from the third semester on, you will go more into detail. For digital marketing and sales, it's everything that is connected to online marketing, which could be either search engine optimization, now also how to optimize your marketing strategies with AI, using AI, and how to also do marketing with AI, actually using for example, ChatGPT. And in intercultural management, you will learn how to manage international teams. So for that, you need to know what intercultural differences there are, or how you can work on contracts in different cultures, for example. And it also involves another language. So you, in this case, have to choose between learning German, which I highly recommend, because if you're living in a German-speaking country, it can only be an advantage to know a little bit of the language, or you can also learn Italian. And for the master's, we have one master's degree, which is international business management, which can be seen as consecutive, or you can do it with one of those bachelors. And it's again focused on international management, as the name implies, okay? But you focus here more on really, leadership skills in an international context, but you also have the possibility to make it a double degree with another university to make your studies even more international. And it's super hands-on because we also have some labs you always have in engineering, but we also have them for our management classes, where you focus on entrepreneurship or also on consulting, and you will also work on your own business case during this program. The second one, which is mentioned here, is super specialized, and it's also one of the few programs we offer that has a little higher tuition fee. And this is management of conservation areas, and it's specialized on the management of natural parks or something like that. Yeah, so specialized. In health sciences, in English, we only offer our engineering programs. So engineering, software engineering, but focused on the medical sector. And in the master's, we have the consecutive one and another one, which is active aging and age-friendly society. It is a very interdisciplinary program where you see like age inclusiveness or the age friendliness of a society from different perspectives. And actually, this is one of our few programs or few master's programs that you can study without, or you can study it with any bachelor, because as I said, it's super interdisciplinary and you can approach it from different angles. And here you can see that we actually offer quite a lot more. So if you have any German skills, then you can also apply for our German taught programs. But the requirement is a B2 level in German. So we would already need a certificate for the language at the time of application. And it's B2, so it's not super low. And but if you have German skills, then you could also apply for architecture or biomedical science or also mechanical engineering. And in the management sector, we have more like also hotel management or business psychology, just to highlight some of these. And in health sciences, we offer a lot of education for professions that are somehow connected to medicine, but not medicine as such, but more like professions that support medical doctors like midwifery, physiotherapy, or healthcare and nursing. And the same applies for the master's. So also here we offer more than just those that I showed you in English. Yeah, but of course we offer our students also something else in addition to the study programs, because students' life is more than just sitting in the classes and taking lectures. And we also have a study and work program that I will explain a little bit more afterwards. And in general, we have a career service that helps our students to to get into the local job market. We organize, for example, a job fair, which is taking place soon right now. We offer different seminars where you can improve your application skills and also your CV, for example. And of course, we also offer a sports club. They organize sports courses, or also taster sessions, or for example, also camps where our students meet and they do sports the whole day together. We also have an academic ski day. And furthermore, our international office organizes social events. For example, we are going to visit a chocolate factory soon, or I think they're also going to go to the national park around Austria's biggest mountain, the Großglockner, together. And this is all organized by the university, and you can just grab a seat in the bus and then go together with your fellow students. But of course, we also take care about your not just your physical, but also your mental well-being. And for that, we have the Student Support Center, who tries to help you when you struggle with studying itself, when you struggle with exams, for example. If you're not sure if you chose the right program, then we have a dedicated department who supports you with all kinds of issues that you have around studying and try to help you resolve these issues. But we also have initiatives for young entrepreneurs. So we encourage our students to think about founding their own business already during studying. And for that, we have the Founders Garage and the Smart Lab Carinthia, where you can actually work on prototypes and get a network. And of course, we also have exchange opportunities, be it for a whole semester abroad or even shorter. We also, for example, have the possibility to offer short learning programs, like for 2 or 3 weeks with one of our partner companies somewhere in another country. And you also get a scholarship for these short learning opportunities. And I think that it's a very nice offer for students. Now, I think what is very interesting is that our university's fees are not very high. So we do have a tuition fee, but it's very low. So for EU citizens, it's 363 euros per semester, so slightly more than 700 per year. And for non-EU citizens, it's 500 euros per semester, so slightly more. So 1,000 euros per year. And only one thing comes additionally, which is the student union fee. It's also mandatory, and it's 25 euros per semester. However, you have to consider the cost of living here in Austria. So our government says that you as a student need approximately 1,200 euros per month. And that is for the accommodation. So for the accommodation, you can count about 400 to 500. I think that is very realistic. Of course, you can go lower or higher depending on what you choose. But in general, 400 to 500 per month is a good estimation. And then the rest really depends on your lifestyle. So food and of course, other personal costs you have during the month. And then you get to these 1,200 euros. Personally, I think that in Carinthia, where we are, so we're not in the capital region about Vienna, which is more expensive. I think in Carinthia, you can get along with approximately 1,000 euros as well. Yeah, and then there are some additional costs that I mentioned. So it's the tuition fee, but it's per semester. And you also have to care for your health insurance. And there is one of the governmental health insurance organization which is provided for students, and it's about 74 euros per month. And we recommend that everybody takes an additional insurance, as it then covers everything. Coming to the accommodation, sorry. Okay, so the accommodation is not included in the university fees, as these would be then too low for us to afford. So the accommodation is something you have to pay for additionally, and actually you also have to look for it yourself. However, of course, we provide all the informations you need. We provide the contacts, so you can scan the QR code and you get to a list for each campus where students can live. So there are many opportunities, but we always recommend to start your search as early as possible, because then you've got still more opportunities that you can choose from, and it's easier to get one, because if you search for an accommodation like 1 month before the semester starts, of course, the dorms are already well filled. However, there is still a possibility to share an apartment with someone, or to go for private accommodation, to rent an apartment yourself, which then can get, of course, a little bit more expensive. But how to finance your studies? So scholarships, as we're a public university and we don't have these high tuition fees, we unfortunately cannot offer a lot of scholarships ourselves. What we do is we offer the tech scholarship, which I mentioned earlier, for technical masters. But there is a very good database for scholarships in Austria, which is www.grants.at. And here you can fill in some filters, and then it's going to show you which scholarships are in general available for you, and if there are some. Or if you come to Austria and you have a student residence permit, you are allowed to work up to 20 hours per week. So a part-time job is possible. And we also offer some help to find the job. However, it's still a free market, so we cannot offer a guarantee for it. But we make sure to do our best. We have our own online portal where we publish jobs that are available from our partner companies, and you can also sign up here without actually being our student. So you can make or register before you come to our university and look for a job. And then once you're part of our university, we highly recommend you to take part in our study and work program that I will show you afterwards. Or I think there are other financing options like funds, education funds. And maybe Georg will tell you a little bit more about it, because I think he has a good partner for that. But now to our study and work program. So our idea is with that we help students to find a job while they are still studying, on the one hand to finance their studies, and on the other hand to gain more practical insights into their field, gain more practical experience, and that it's easier then to get a real job after graduating. So there are quite some advantages for students. Of course, you can use our service for job placement, and we try to do a lot of networking here with our partner companies. And so I mentioned, I think, everything here, what is of advantage. So it is a huge advantage if you work besides studying, and also our programs are structured or organized in a way that allow you to study to work part-time at least. And you can apply for the study and work program once a year, so during October. But of course, the job platform that I mentioned earlier is available the whole year round. And again, German skills are not a must, but they are a big plus. And on this slide, you can see some of the international companies in Austria whose working language is mostly English. So they accept a lot of our international students. So Infineon is definitely the biggest one here, but also Flex is big, or Lung Research, which are actually suppliers to Infineon. Bitmoving is a video streaming company. Silicon Austrian Labs is also for research. So they're mostly engineering or technical companies, but also they need managers. Also our management students are highly requested here. Yeah, this is one of our classrooms. So I think something that I forgot to mention up to now is that at a University of Applied Sciences, like we are, everything is a little bit smaller. So we have small study groups, which are more personal. So you're not anonymous, it's more like a school, but at an academic level. But this is a great advantage because the professors know you and they act like your mentors, and they are also caring for your success in the studies, but also afterwards. So usually they have their own network, and they try also to give you access to their network. And I think this can just be seen as a great advantage. Yeah, so how can you apply for studying here at Carinthia University of Applied Sciences? So we offer one intake per year, which is always in autumn. And so you can still apply for the next intake, but the application deadline depends on your citizenship, or rather where your documents were issued. If your documents need a full diplomatic legalization, which is the case for some countries, I can tell you afterwards, or if you tell me from which country you are, I can look up if they need full diplomatic legalization or not. For all those countries that need that, we have the application deadline already on the 15th of March, so quite soon. If you do not require the full diplomatic legalization, but only the apostille, which is an easier way of legalization, then you can apply still until the 15th of May. So you have a little bit more time. I think almost for all the South American countries, they only need the apostille, so you have got a little bit more of time. And so we have an online application tool, which you can find behind this QR code or anywhere on our website, basically. And there you upload all the documents that we need. I will also show you that afterwards. And then you start the application procedure, which is in most cases just an online interview with the head of the degree program. And it's not a test, it's more like a getting to know each other. And it's a little bit more like a job interview than a test, actually, because for us it's the motivation that counts. Grades are not the most important thing. It's more that the people that we accept fit to the program and the program fits to the student. Yeah, if everything went well for you, then you will get the study place confirmation and a learning agreement, which is the contract that you sign in order to study with us. And if everything is done here, you can apply for the visa or the residence permit, and you can also apply for the dorm then. And the final step is then the enrollment, but this is only done when you actually come here, so in autumn. So what are the general admission requirements? So for the bachelor's, and this is just very general, so it could be that from certain countries there are more admission requirements. These are just the general ones. So there can be more, and the best way to find out is actually applying, because then we will review all the documents and give you a feedback within like 2 weeks. If there is something missing, that you can also later submit documents. But just in general, for a bachelor's degree, in order to apply successfully, you need a secondary school leaving certificate, which is equivalent to the Austrian Matura. What does that mean? So in Austria, we require 12 years of schooling, which is the case in most countries, but there are several countries that only have 11 school years, but we need 12. There are some ways to compensate for it, but if that is the case for you, we can talk about it afterwards. But in general, we need something similar than the Austrian school leaving certificate, or you have an IB diploma, or you already have a bachelor's degree from an accredited university. So with a bachelor's degree, you can do another bachelor's degree here. Plus, you need a language certificate. For the English taught programs, of course, we need an English certificate, like TOEFL, IELTS, or Cambridge. And for the German programs, just if you're interested in that, we also need a certificate of B2. And please keep in mind that there can be further additional prerequisites for different programs and for different countries. And please take also care of the legalization and the translation, because we need your documents either in English or in German, or both. But generally, English is enough. Okay, for the masters, we need a bachelor's degree program of a minimum 3 years, or equivalent to 180 ECTS points. And it has to be a bachelor's degree that is related somehow to the master's degree. So just some examples. The master has to be consecutive. If you want to study international business management in the master's, then you need to have a business-related bachelor's. Or if you want to study one of our engineering programs like systems design, communication design, then you need a program like electronics or systems engineering as well. Or for applied data science and communication engineering or medical engineering and analytics, you need something like computer science or informatics or software engineering. So basically programming skills and basic and computer science skills, because our masters, they do not start from zero. So we need some knowledge in this field before that. And of course, you also need a language certificate for the masters. In general, it's B2 just for international business management, and for some German taught programs, you need a C1 level. But in general, B2 is enough. Also for the masters, please make sure you think about the legalization and the translation. This is just a screenshot of our application tool. So as I've already mentioned, you can apply online. And if you want to check if you meet the requirements, if your documents are enough for being accepted to the program, I would just recommend you register online, you upload the documents you have, and then our admission teams takes a look at it and gives you feedback if this is okay or not, because I told you, I'm unfortunately not an expert for each country or each program, so it's always a case-by-case decision. So I was able to give you like some general information, but if you want specific information, please sign up online and register and upload your documents. It's totally for free, so you cannot lose anything, and you will get the info very, very fast. Yeah, so that was it for now. I will then look at the questions, and if you have any questions that you cannot get answered here, for example, we also invite you to write us an email at info@qs.at, or follow us everywhere on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We are even on Facebook. So wherever you would like to get more information. So thank you from my side now. I will.
Thank you so much, Dana. That was amazing. Oh.
Thank you. I see.
Great. You're still here.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. And yeah, a lot of information in the 45 minutes, but I saw people were very active. We did some polls and we have a lot of questions. So I would like you to answer some of them. I was able to answer some, but the other ones I think are better for you to answer. So the first question is, if I already have a complete bachelor degree in Brazil, do I need to take an additional exam to pursue a bachelor's degree in Austria?
So usually not, if it was obtained by an accredited university and it has an equivalent to 180 ECTS points, and 3 years is the requirement.
And usually the school leaving certificate in
Yeah.
Brazil, it's the vestibular, or like in India, it's the 12 years, or like a high school leaving certificate. This is actually already sufficient to apply for a bachelor's course, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Then the next question is, how selective is the university? Does the university accept students for bachelor programs with a huge gap after the grade 12, like getting back to school or adult education, meaning somebody is maybe a bit older and wants to go back to university?
So at first, age is never a problem here. So you can still do a second career path. I think this is something that is very common also here in Austria, that people decide to do something else at a later point in their lives. And we do encourage that. So in general, it's no problem. Also, of course, if you did get some professional experience, we also count that. And how selective we are, that depends a little bit on the program. Because for like our management bachelors, I think the competition is nowadays already quite high. So there we are definitely selective. For other programs, like for engineering, or the new programs like systems engineering, I think there is still a good way, if you meet the requirements, that you are accepted.
Perfect, thank you. So no age restrictions. It's really
No.
quality of application in some programs, which like for any other job, where maybe somebody gets selected and others not, because maybe the background is better.
Yes.
Then there's one question: are students required to do an internship during studies, regardless of faculty?
So for the bachelors, we do have mandatory internships. They mostly take part in the last semester. And so for bachelors, yes. At the master's level, there are no more mandatory internships, because most of the students already work part-time somewhere for a company. So it wouldn't make sense to require that again. But for the master thesis that they have to write, they can pair up with a company. So you can write a master thesis together with a company. But the internship itself is not required during the master's. For the bachelor's, yes.
Very good, also answered. And then we have here, that's a specific one. I was not 100% sure. Regarding the student permit, the question is, I read it out, do we apply for the residence permit in Austria, or do people apply for an entry visa and then pick up the student visa at the Bezirkshauptmannschaft, like the immigration authority?
So in general, for countries, I'm not 100% a visa expert, and I would always recommend to go to the official website, because I think they have a very nice step-to-step guide that shows what you need when and where to get that. So I think it was you who posted that, the website oad.at, about the entries. Yeah, I think that is already the website that you need. But in general, for countries that do need a visa to get into Austria, they need to apply for everything, also for the student residence permit in their home country with the Austrian authority. If there is the possibility to get into Austria just with the tourist visa for 90 days, then you can apply for the residence permit in Austria, but it's just like an exception. So better everything done in your home country.
Good. I will recap. So usually for countries that have free access to the European Union, for example, somebody from Mexico or Brazil could enter Austria. They apply for it and then pick up the residence card in Austria. Everyone else who needs a visa D to enter the European Union or the Schengen area, for example, people from India or from South Africa, they would have to anyways apply for the visa D, and then mention already that it's for student purpose, but there is always a visit needed to the immigration authority anyways to register once you're in Austria. And for you who asked the questions that you're currently resident in Hungary, so that's actually easy because you're already residing in Hungary, so you have a direct access to the European Union. So for you, it's easier. You could apply online and then, or through the embassy, and then, pick up your residence card in Austria, which from Hungary, it's just a few hours train ride or bus ride. Good, then we have another question here. Does the university support in pairing with companies for capstone project? I'm not aware what a capstone project is. Do you know?
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Can you, maybe somebody, if you wrote this, raise your hand then, or rewrite it? We don't know what capstone project means. Okay, then we have another question here. Somebody's asking, it's Jose, he had an issue with his TOEFL test. He couldn't deliver it on time. What's the process?
Okay, so for that, we do have a solution. So it's possible to submit the documents or the certificate later, but at the application, if this deadline of the 15th of March, for example, applies to you, then you can upload like some kind of confirmation that you're going to take the test soon. Like, for example, that you already paid for the next exam, or you registered for an exam. So some kind of written proof that you're going to retake the exam again, so that we know that we will get the document soon. And then when you have the final certificate, you can submit it. But we need some kind of written proof that you're going to take some kind of test.
Great. Should they contact you or someone else?
They can just upload it on the application tool where they would normally upload the certificate, the language certificate.
Okay, so of course you're flexible there, because we know sometimes it's difficult to reach exactly the results in the application.
Or in any case, if any questions also with the application tool come up, they can always turn to our info at fh-kärnten.at. I can also, should I write it in?
Yes, please.
Okay, so if they have any questions about the later submission, about documents, or if they cannot do it online on the application tool, our colleagues there always help. Because I myself, if you write me, I can just forward it to my colleagues there, so you can just directly write them, because they know how to work with the application tool. Okay.
Okay, great. Here is a specific question. I have a diploma in a culinary school and I have work experience. What do I need to continue studying? Hotel management. I speak English and basics of German. The candidate who is Abdel Karim, he's currently in Austria holding a red card, and he's from Morocco. So regarding the visa, one thing, if you have a red card, shortage occupation, it means you're working for a company, so you cannot study. This is a work permit. In case you want to finish your work to study, then you would have to file, first apply for the university, and once you get accepted, you would have to get a student visa. If you have a red card plus, that's the one you get after 2 years, then you have free access to the Austrian labor market, which would mean you could work and study freely. So you could even do both. So that's about the visa situation. If you have questions, you can always text me, because I know all of that later. So, but yeah, now regarding Dana, please explain us regarding hotel management course for.
Okay, hotel management is only taught in German, and that's why we need a B2 level in German, and we always need that at the time of application. So if you say you know the basics in German, I assume like A1, A2, this is unfortunately not enough. You cannot study hotel management in English, in German then with these German skills. What you could do actually is register for something like intercultural management, which is in English. And As part of this program, you can take German lectures and then get up to a level of B2 in German. And then you can continue studying hotel management once you've reached the German level of B2. But for the application for hotel management, you need B2 in German.
Okay, also because sometimes some programs maybe have similar modules and you maybe can use something you learn in intercultural management and then it gets recognized for the hotel
That's
management.
definitely the case. So all the management programs, they have a lot of similarities. And if you start with one of them, you can get credits for them in another program.
Mhm. Okay, about system information, where can I see more details about that? Well, I would say on the website, right?
But I'm not sure what they mean. Support systems informations. About the programs, we have systems engineering as a bachelor and systems design.
Okay.
I don't know if they mean that or student support center. No.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure, but everything can be found on the website. If you mean the programs, we have an overview there where you can click on and you get very detailed infos about all the programs. And if you're looking for our support services, there is another section on our website, which is when you click on top, there is one thing that says PUAS, so Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, and then you get to see all our departments and what they offer, and also the support services for students.
Yeah.
Thesis or project work?
Yeah, this is connected to something before. So Faisal, please, again, if you have a question, put the whole sentence, because if you then answer to something, it just gets in the list down. I need the full question to understand the context. So the person, Rihanna, who's currently not in Hungary anymore, if she's outside, she's back in South Africa, yes, you would have to redo the process. If your residence card in Hungary is expired, you just have to do the process again from your home country. Applied data science is possible to study online, as far as I understood. No, all the courses.
No, unfortunately not. So we do have a master, which is completely online. I will answer it. It's medical engineering and analytics. This is the only master we offer that can be done 100% online. The rest is on campus with some online lectures, but mostly on campus. And if you studied something like computer engineering or computer science or informatics in the bachelor, you can also apply for medical engineering and analytics.
Good. After finishing my studies in Austria, bachelor's or master's, can I stay in Austria longer until I find a job, or only during the study for visa period?
They can stay for 1 year after graduating in order to find a job.
Yes. You can stay in Austria for 1 year, and then you can apply for a red, white, red card Studienabsolventen. So basically people who studied and completed the university in Austria. Let's say you then get a full-time job somewhere, then you get the full red, white, red card. And there's no labor market test, so it's quite easy. So usually you have 1 year time after you get your certificate to find a job, and once you get a job, you can switch on a red, white, red card, which is a work and residence permit.
I see there is another question about the language proficiency and the medium of instructions. So in some cases, we also count the medium of instruction already enough, but this is just for EU countries. So if you did a bachelor's degree or school education in English in an EU country, then yes. If it's from outside Europe, then we need a certificate.
Okay. That also applies, for example, somebody from South Africa or India, where the school says.
So for India, definitely. Also, like for Nigeria, we need a language certificate. Just from EU countries, and of course, if you studied in the US or UK or Australia, then no.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. Then Jose actually said he sent a TOEFL, but he got a negative answer from Nick.
Okay. Okay, Niklas is one of our admission officers. And I don't have insight why he said it's why he sent a negative answer, but usually there must be some reason behind it, because everything is tested case by case, and usually he always sends a reason why it's not possible.
Good.
Maybe because I think TOEFL expires or IELTS expires. Maybe that's the reason behind it, because it must not be older than 2 years, or the score was not high enough. This is also possible, because we need to have a certain score for each subject, and this can be a reason. But I would maybe take a look at the email again. What's the reason? And maybe they can find another way.
If you need help, Jose, just forward me the email so I can have a look, because it's also for me important to understand better what are the different cases that can happen. So if somebody has a similar situation, we know better how to guide them. Okay, then there's one question from Rihanna. I have already graduated, and as you said, I won't need apostille my degree because it's a degree from Hungary. Will there be anything necessary for the documents like translation? So if it's a Hungarian document?
Yeah, so if the document is in Hungarian, then translation is needed. It can be either in German or in English, but a lot of universities already offer to issue the diploma or in English. So maybe she can ask there if they can issue it in English. Then we don't need a sworn translation. It's just we need a sworn translation and not that you translate it on yourself. But if the university already offers this, I would definitely take this chance, because
usually that's what we always say. And she says the documents are in English and Hungarian. Does she still need to do the language test? I would say so, yes, language test. But she's from South Africa. How's South Africa?
And if they're in English and Hungarian, perfect, then she doesn't need any translation.
Yeah.
Language test. So was the program in English or in Hungarian? If it was in Hungarian, then it might be that she doesn't need a language test. Yes, all English. Yes, I would just apply with that then, because we accept documents issued in the EU with medium of instruction English. So please apply with that. In case we need any more certificates, we will reach out to you.
Okay, just for understanding, I think, Rihanna, your case would work, because usually, just for everybody to understand, if you're in the European Union, and let's say you study in English in a European country, and then you want to do another course on a different university, then if you've already completed a course in English, it is to be considered equivalent, and then you don't need to show the English test. That's usually because the European Union is like one big, free, 27 different countries, but it's one free movement, and that's why they all try to follow the same standards. So usually, Rihanna, just apply, and most likely also together with your South African nationality, and then having this document from Hungary, that should be fine to apply.
Okay, any scholarships for Indian students based on the IELTS and TOEFL score? Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with any scholarships that we offer for Indian students. So as I mentioned, there is just a tech scholarship, but it's available only for students from South Africa, Mexico, and Europe. I would advise you to go to grants.at and put in all the filters that apply for you, and maybe you get a result for some kind of scholarship that you can apply for. But just from our university, we do not have a separate scholarship for these cases where you have a very high score in IELTS, but we offer that only for South America and Europe right now. Perfect. Thank you, Georg, for adding the link.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, Grants AT, I actually saw this once. I forgot about it, so great. I've added it also to my presentation, and I see we are now actually 4 minutes over time. I think, yeah, we have one more question. Maybe we can take it. I have a high school certificate and record from the USA. So somebody, Jose, actually studied in the US and or did his high school there. Is this valid?
Then usually, yes. Then we accept this kind of certificate because it was obtained in an English-speaking country and probably in English. Then it should be fine. But I always have to mention that everything is a case-by-case decision. So our admission staff takes a look at all the documents, at the certificates. So when I say something now, it's just what I know in general. But please, if I make any mistakes here, I'm sorry. We have experts for that in our admissions department.
Perfect. And somebody asked, I got my degree in 2021. Will there be a problem for continue studying? I would say no, right? There's no time restriction.
No.
Good. Okay, with this, we will close it. Thank you so much. That was really helpful, insightful. We had...
Thank you for organizing everything. Thanks for everybody for participating. Happy to see that you're interested in our programs. And I wrote in my email address, and maybe you can write also to Georg if you have any questions. I'm always happy to answer them.
Perfect. Yes, all of that what was recorded will be shared over YouTube, so people who have not joined can listen to it later. And if you have questions, we will also share presentation. You can reach out to us and ask for questions. Thank you so much for your time, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice evening.